YouTubers, Busticando here. The current time is 7:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today's date is November the 26th, 2019. And I want to go over an article from dailymail.co.uk called Dog Owner Dies After Being Licked by His Pet. Healthy 63-year-old caught deadly infection from his animal saliva. Written by Sam Blanchard, senior health reporter for Mail Online. November the 20th, 2019, and updated at 4:50, November the 22nd, 2019. As you can see, I guess that is probably part of the infection. I haven't read this article fully for myself. I briefly glanced over it. So we'll be able to experience this together for the first time. Let us continue. Graphic image warning. The man developed blisters all over his body. He suffered from multiple organ failure, pneumonia, and gangrene in his limbs. Bacteria in his dog's saliva triggered sepsis, and his health rapidly deteriorated. Normally, it's people with weak immune systems so badly affected, doctors said. A man who became ill after being licked by his dog later died after catching a rare infection from his pet's saliva. The unidentified 63-year-old was completely healthy before being struck down with the devastating disease, doctors said. He spent more than 2 weeks suffering in the hospital with a catalog of conditions including pneumonia, gangrene, and a fever of 41 degrees Celsius, 106 degrees Fahrenheit. The man had been infected with, wait a minute, why does that look familiar? Capnocytophagia, Kinemorsis, a bacteria which is normally transmitted by bites, but can be spread through just a lick. Oof. God. All that from one lick. The man developed blisters across his entire head and body and got an infection which caused blood to clot deep inside his body and trigger rotting of the skin. Pictured the patient still alive a few days after being admitted to hospital. When the man first went to hospital, he had flu-like symptoms for 3 days, a fever, and labored breathing. His tragic case was reported in a medical journal by doctors from the Rote Kreuz Krankenhaus in Bremen, Germany. By the time he started medical treatment, the man had already had severe sepsis, the doctor said, and needed intensive care to try and save his life. In the first 4 days while he was in the hospital, his condition got significantly worse, beginning with a rash on his face and nerve pain and bruises in his legs. This then progressed to his kidneys and liver shutting down and blood clotting in his blood vessels, starting to rot his skin away and leading to cardiac arrest. Oof. He was resuscitated after his heart stopped and put on life support, but doctors still faced an uphill battle to save his life. The C. Kinemorsis infection he had suffered from is most often triggered by bites, the doctor said. They were surprised it happened after licking alone, which probably only transmitted a small number of bacteria. The bug is rare, and according to one study in the Netherlands, affects only 1 in every 1.5 million people. It is fatal in around 28 to 31% of all cases. Normally, the doctors added, only people with weakened immune systems were seriously affected by the bacteria, but this case showed it can happen to anyone. The man did not even have an open wound to begin with, which they said could have explained the more serious illness. The team led by Dr. Naomi Matter wrote, quote, pet owners with flu-like symptoms should urgently seek medical advice when their symptoms exceed those of a simple viral infection, which in this case were breathing problems and rash. Sheesh. You see, guys, all this from one lick. And I'm starting to think this is not so rare a case, because I've done multiple videos on this subject. Go add to my backlog if you want to check those out. And I'm starting to rack up a pretty good count of these kind of articles. Let us continue. Gangrene developed in the man's hands and feet, and he spread blisters from head to toe. Doctors said they turned off his life support after he spent around 2 weeks in intensive care. Physicians confronted with such patients should ask about contact with dogs and cats. After the man's cardiac arrest, he was kept on life support but rapidly deteriorated. He developed a fungal infection in his lungs, which led to suspected pneumonia, blisters over his entire body, and gangrene in his fingers and toes, and caught MRSA. Scans of his brain revealed he had a massive buildup of fluid in his brain, which was causing permanent damage to the organ. Because of this, and multiple organs failing, doctors and his family stopped the life support, and the man died 16 days after being admitted to the hospital. Sheesh. Yeah, about that. Wow, about that. Let's see if we can get a little more information, shall we?
She loves kids, she loves puppies, other dogs, right? Yeah.
By the way, I think that might be the same guy from a previous article I did. And here's where you can find a little bit more information based on the deadly bacteria found in dog saliva. Now, it does say it's found in the saliva of cats and dogs, but I haven't heard any cat cases of this yet. Most of the cases I've heard have been related to dogs and dogs alone. So if I find the cat case, I will do an article on it just to try to even the playing field a bit. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? Has it made you reconsider getting a dog? Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Buster Gun Doe, signing off for now. Be safe, be smart, be silent. For whatever's done in darkness eventually comes to light. Be safe out there.